Well, good morning. It is Monday, July 15th. Thanks for joining us on HCC's Up to the Minute. I'm Dr. Nicholas Cox, the History Department Chair, and today I'm here with guest co-host Daniel Scholl, the HCC Financial Aid Coach. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here. Good morning.
How'd you do during the storm?
Not too bad. We had lost power for a little bit, but, considering what other people went through, I have no real complaints.
Yeah, I was pretty fortunate myself. My power did go out, but it came back on relatively quick compared to a lot of my colleagues and friends and family. My parents just got power last night, so it's been a struggle for a lot of people.
For sure.
So today, if you could, Daniel, if you would just let everybody know, how can they find us on social media?
Absolutely. We are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page. Got to add that district. It's not HCC. And we're on YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Excellent. Thank you. So this is our first show back from Hurricane Beryl, and we are going to focus on a special topic related to storm preparedness and recovery. In our second segment, though, we'll talk about job placement services in a specialized field through our career services division with our guest, Derron Jenkins. Derron, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. I understand you are a career and transfer services specialist for HCC out at Stafford. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right. Well, we're going to bring you back on in the second segment to talk about career placement. But first, we'll talk with a former HCC student, now a master electrician, and he's going to walk us through what we need to know about home generators. Robert Darrett, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning.
So I understand that you're a former HCC student, a master electrician, and you own your own small business, Darrett Electrical. Do I have all that right?
Yes, I am. I'm alumni of HCC. I do all my business Darrett Electrical and journeyman electrician.
Well, welcome to the show. This was only a Category 1 hurricane, but Beryl certainly did a lot of damage in Houston, and a lot of us are still recovering. I don't know when or if we'll ever get used to these kind of storms, but I know you're going to talk to us a little bit about home generators today. Before we do that, though, can you tell us about your time here at HCC?
Okay, so 2014, I came in. First of all, I'd like to thank all of the faculty and staff that had any parts, in me coming through the program. I think it's a great opportunity for anybody to come through, gather as much information and knowledge as you can to better your lifestyle. I participated in everything that I possibly could when I was at the school. Like I said, came in 2014, finished around 2016. And it's benefited me greatly. My family is benefiting from it. I'm able to help the community, specifically in situations like this, by contributing what I have learned at HCC and helping everyone around me succeed as far as excelling myself in my field.
For any students or potential students out in the audience, how long did it take you to get your certifications at HCC in order to enter this field?
When I was at HCC, it only took me 2 years, and I could have done it a little quicker. But the only reason it took a little longer because one class was only available a certain time of year. So if you focus and you go in there with the mindset to win, and you put your boots on, and you can accomplish it quick.
Oh, that's good to hear. I mean, a lot of our students out there might really be interested to hear about a success like yours and how to get on track, get through the certifications and get out there and start their careers. One piece of advice you've had is that people should choose to be a licensed master electrician. Why is that important?
I think that's important because you have regulations that you have to abide by wherever you're doing any kind of installations or anything like that. And firstly, it's a safety thing. If somebody's coming out doing anything for me, I would definitely like to know that somebody is qualified to accomplish the job. So for me, I think that's the real important part, making sure whoever's doing any work, when you're choosing an electrician or a company, that they're legit and they're qualified to get the job taken care of.
Now, a lot of people in Houston right now are contemplating getting a generator after such a long power outage. What should they consider? What kind of generator should they be getting, and how should they use it?
Okay, first of all, a generator is what a generator is a device that converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. That's what a generator is. When picking a generator, you have your options. So you have your whole home generators, you have your portable generators. It all depends on your needs. So the three questions will be, what are you trying to run? How long are you trying to run it? And what do you need to run whatever it is you need to run? That's the first thing you want to figure it out. And doing that, you have your whole home, which would be something like your Generacs, and then your portables, where you can go to your local box store and grab those. After you figure out what you need to run, then you can figure out what you want. So small example, you're talking about running lights in one room, one ceiling fan, and a refrigerator. You got like a 60-watt bulb. When your light bulb says 60 watts, that's basically saying that in an hour's time, you'll be burning 60 watts of energy. So you know about how long you want to run it. They give you like a timeline and numbers, so you can do the math and figure out what you need. When it comes to a ceiling fan, get the wattage for a average wattage for running your ceiling fan throughout the day. Same with your refrigerator. Put these numbers together, and then you know what wattage you need. When it comes to buying the generator, they come in the 600. I know you guys see this 600 kilowatt, 20 kilowatt, 22 kilowatt, whatever the number is. That's only when it's saying that, it's only saying 1,000, basically 1,000. So 6,000 kilowatts. You figure out the number you need, and you look in the parameters for what generator provides what you need in your situation particularly.
So as people start acquiring generators, and I think about this a lot, my stepfather uses a portable generator to power construction site power tools, but he can also use it to keep his refrigerator going in a crisis. But what are some safety concerns that people need to keep in mind?
Huge safety concerns. I'd say one of the biggest ones that you hear about pretty often is carbon monoxide poisoning. That's a huge one. So you definitely want to make sure when you're installing a generator at your home or wherever you're installing it, that you have it placed, positioned properly. So 20 feet away from your house, never indoors, never closed indoors, but never indoors. Make sure it's spaced properly. Make sure you're not trying to fuel it while it's running. Make sure you cut it off if you're trying to run it. Also be considerate of burn injuries, be considerate of electrical injury, electrical shock injury, because all of these things are part of it. And also, I would definitely say, make sure you read your manuals when it comes to this type of things. They always let you know what you should and shouldn't do with when it comes to manufacturers. They try to give you the best information. So those are the biggest things when it comes to safety.
Now, what kind of maintenance would someone with a generator need to do after you're finished with a hurricane season?
Okay, so when it comes to maintenance, it differs a little when you're talking about a whole home generator like a Generac system, and you're talking about a portable system. With the Generac system, it should be maintenance. So having someone come in and maintenance that system, also making sure you get with the manufacturer, knowing whatever times that they recommend you run it throughout the year to make sure everything is working when you need it. With the portable generators, the biggest thing, again, I emphasize this a lot, read the owner's manuals, because they always let you know how to maintain or store these things afterwards. So the maintenance that will be done on the portable is pretty much, make sure when you're done with it, let it cool down completely. Empty the fuel if you can. If you can't empty the fuel, add some stabilizer, and the stabilizer is there, particularly to make sure when you're sitting over time with the fuel in there that you're not gunking all up, your carburetor is not getting all gunked up from all the junk sitting over time. So put the stabilizer in there, run it for about 10 to 15 minutes before storing, clean it up, put it up, and be ready for the next emergency.
No, that's all incredibly helpful. I think a lot of people are going to be considering acquiring generators as a result of Hurricane Beryl, and maybe as first-time generator owners, they might not know what the maintenance or storage requirements might be. And like you said, the difference between a standby generator installed by a company like Generac and a portable one on wheels that you can move around. So very different machines, very different maintenance and storage requirements.
Yes, sir.
So we're almost out of time here, but I wanted to ask you, is there anything else electrical related to storm recovery besides generators that you think people ought to think about?
Definitely. I say this, when you have any kind of, particularly in like in the hurricane situation, just make sure you're watching things. You may not be an electrician, may not know a lot about things, but go out and look, check your weatherhead, check your breaker panel, just open it up, check your panel, look for anything that looks odd or off. Of course, you can tell if a breaker's tripped off. I know a lot of people in the situation we're in now in the city, lost power, and the city restored some power. Some people still don't have power. Come to find out, a few people weatherheads were damaged. That's something you can physically see. A breaker may have been tripped or damaged, or a wire, something related to the panel. Just it's most of this stuff is kind of visual, so just check it out. I'm not telling anybody to go out there and touch things if you're not licensed, but just visually look at it before stuff happens, and you can see things afterwards.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate this, Robert, because I think you're right. There are a lot of people who have had power restored, but maybe there's something about their home or their block that needs to be fixed. So thank you again. This is Robert Darrett, master electrician, owner of Darrett Electrical, and HCC alum. We'll have your information in our post after the show. Thank you again, Robert. Up next, after a quick commercial break, thank you. After a quick commercial break, Daniel will talk to an HCC career specialist here at HCC Southwest.
When I grow up, I want to work in a lab to build robots.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me, and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally like knew that I had somebody.
All right, and we're back with Derron Jenkins, our career and transfer services specialist for HCC Southwest at Stafford. Derron, welcome in. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
We're thrilled that you're here. I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. So we're really here to talk about one thing today, one company in particular, Hunting. What can you tell us about this company?
Well, Hunting is a premier manufacturing company specializing in global manufacturing, trade, and rental of high quality equipment for the industry, the energy industry that has been around since probably 1870s or late 1800s.
Wow, that's incredible track record. And from what I understand, part of the beauty of this relationship that we have with them is that it's they're part of our community. They're actually in the HCC backyard at our Southwest campus community. Is it in Stafford?
It actually is. It's closer than you actually think. It's probably about 1.5 miles from here. The beauty of this company is that it's nestled right here in the backyard of the Southwest campus. This particular community partner relationship is special in many ways because it offers employment opportunities in several of our COEs to include logistics, smart manufacturing, welding, business, to include sales and accounting. This company recognizes that talent-based that HCC has to offer fulfills its hiring needs, and it's willing to go that extra mile by offering internships in many of its operations, as mentioned earlier.
That's awesome. And how does one go about getting one of these internships?
Well, if you go to your HCC website and log into your account, you should see information about this particular employer. Pay attention to the open and close dates. They actually have an event taking place here at I believe it's the Stafford campus. Right next door is the workforce building. On the 18th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., they'll be conducting interviews, looking to hire HCC talent from many of our COEs, particularly our workforce.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this. I know, so when I first got out of college, I actually worked in banking, right? I'm a financial
Yes,
coach, kind of makes sense. To advance in banking, you really had to leave your employer. If you want, they didn't really, none of the industry at the time promoted from within. You really had to job hop your way up. From what I understand, hunting's not like that. This is a place where our students can grow their whole careers with. Is that right?
absolutely. As mentioned earlier, many of the COEs, you can transfer from department to department. They actually have welding, they have sales, they have accounting. Many of the workforce positions are very specialized. So anything in the workforce positions such as CNC operator or electricians, welders, they have many of those positions that you probably can retire from this particular employer.
That's awesome. That's just getting harder and harder to find in the world that we're living in today, economically.
Absolutely.
And I'm assuming, one of the nice things about this partnership is that with us, you working so close with them, us understanding what their needs are. If somebody's ready to move within that company, they can come back to HCC and get that training.
They could, but actually, this particular partner will train you in exactly what it is you need, and you can supplement that training by returning back to HCC and stacking your skills, stacking additional skills, which makes you more marketable.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, that saves people a lot of money too.
It does.
How long have we had this partnership with Hunting?
This is one of our newer partnerships. But especially about this is this particular partner of the 14 Center of Excellence that we have, it covers probably a third of them.
Wow. And you work pretty closely with them?
Yes.
How did we develop this relationship? Do we actively go out and approach companies, or do they come to us, or?
Well, what is optimum is employers have capital needs. They need they need talent.
Right.
So that talent is right there in your community. Think about it. That talent is sitting right there in your community. People have those particular skill sets. And if you don't have those skill sets, Houston Community College provides that training for you to be able to go out and compete for those positions, apply for those positions, and eventually get hired.
I'm just thinking, going back to the generation, I think you called it generational employment.
Mm-hmm.
How, in your perspective, how common is that these days? From my perspective, it doesn't seem very common at all, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
Well, if you understand the world of work, everyone has some type of talent, but it has to be the type of talent that the employer is looking for. So a company like Hunting has particular needs. People in the community either have those formal talents or they don't. They can come to Houston Community College and find out what those talents are. And they can be trained in those talents and bring that to an employer like Hunting or something similar and get employed. Generational employment, meaning that they have so many different type of departments you can train up to be able to move laterally to another department. And if you think about the Empire State Building, that's what's a better example of generational employment. Generation after generation, 2 or 3 generations can work on the Empire State Building to its completion until it's ready to be occupied. That's the type of talent, generational talent, we speak of.
And that kind of security, from a financial coaching standpoint, it does wonders for people's retirement as well.
Absolutely.
So often when people job hop, they get their benefits kind of messed up. They don't really know what to do with their retirement plans, things like that. We've got a few minutes left. I was wondering if you could talk to me just in general about career services and transfer services and what it is that you all do offer our students.
Well, we offer many different types of products. One of the things we offer is opportunities with finding employment. But the most important thing, I think, is building community partnerships with employers or industries within the community or the surrounding community. Now, that could mean a company like Huntington, which is a mile and a half away, or Boeing, which is on the other side of the country. We can prepare you for those positions with resumes, job interviews, and assisting you with interviewing, being successful in interview, which is probably the most difficult part of landing any job.
Absolutely. And
let me add that transfer services, we prepare the students and make sure that the students understand that they have what they need to be able to move on to a four-year institution.
wonderful. And I don't think a lot of people think about that because it's a big transition, I think, to go from a 2-year institution to a 4-year institution.
It is.
Mostly culturally, right? I mean, it's just a very different feel. I do want to ask a question I get asked from time to time. Is this something that we only offer to enrolled students, or do you work with alumni that are still seeking jobs?
Absolutely. We're here to assist alumni with their career path, developing their career path. Also, we have certification programs, continuing education programs here at Houston Community College.
That's wonderful. I love that we serve the students, even after they're always part of the HCC family. Well, I just want to say thank you, Derron Jenkins, Career and Transfer Services Specialist for HCC Southwest at Stafford. We're going to have your info on our post after the show. And thank you again for, taking care of our students and creating those partnerships.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Coming up next, we're going to do a quick commercial break, and then Nick and I will return with some news and announcements.
When I grow up, I want to work at a school so I can be a teacher.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
All right, welcome back. That was a couple of great segments, and now we're going to close out today with some announcements for the week. First, Student Life gets fits with balloons. We have a balloon burnout. This is balloon-powered sprints and jumps to balloon-powered resistance exercises. This event will push your limits and defy gravity. With balloons flying high and spirits soaring, you'll feel like you're on cloud 9 as you soar through this fitness frenzy. This is at the HCC Eastside Campus Student Life Center on Tuesday, July 16th from 2 to 3 p.m. tomorrow. For more information, check our post after the show.
All right, and we've got a national Battle of the Bands coming up. Prestigious HBCU marching bands will soon gather for the 2024 National Battle of the Bands High School Band Camp. Special guest for the event will be Danielle Stamper, a TSU dance director for the famous Motion of the Ocean. As band camp dance coach, she and others will offer clinics to provide high school students valuable instruction on music and arts. This is going to take place on Friday, July 17th through the 19th from 2 to 6 p.m. at our HCC North Forest campus. For more information, check out our post after the show.
Thank you. So HCC and United Healthcare are partnering up to bring a free series on Medicare awareness to our campuses. Since those who become eligible for Medicare have important decisions to make, United Healthcare is offering free series of meetings in English and Vietnamese. The organization says it's their mission to help everyone live healthier lives and make the healthcare system work for everyone. These meetings will be at the HCC Spring Branch, Alief Bissonnette, Alief Hayes, and Katy campuses in the Northwest. Those are Wednesday, July 24th from 10 to 11 a.m. Registration and information is in our post after the show.
HCC's upcoming Fall Automotive Technicians and Mechanics Career Fair is an opportunity to connect employers who are needing talent in the form of jobs, co-ops, internships, and more. Specialties include transportation technicians, auto body collision repair, and transportation mechanics. This is going to be taking place from 8 to 11 a.m. on Wednesday, September 18th at the Northeast Campus. Check our post after the show for more information.
And last announcement of the day, fall registration is now open. We have traditional in-person classes. We have online anytime classes. We have online virtual classes on a schedule. We also offer in-person labs and hybrid in-person classes for all the sort of modalities you could need. To learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover your costs, go to hccs.edu/apply. Now, coming up later this week for Tasty Tuesday, we'll be talking to a popular tea house and more just slightly west of town. And we'll revisit HCC's art history classes with a NYSOD-winning professor. Those are coming up later. And so thank you all. And thank you, Daniel, for co-hosting today.
Absolutely. It's great working with you.
See you guys next time.